Hello everyone, hello everyone, hello everyone. Welcome to RBN Smokes, and today this is our first video. This will be first experiment, maybe a faceless channel. Um, Today we are here to, I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. Today I'm here to indulge. I'm gonna be hitting out of a bong. Now what is the strain name? Honestly, I don't know. I already forgot. But today's an experiment. We're going to see how I feel about it, how this goes, how YouTube feels about it. Ultimately, hopefully, we can look back at this and laugh. Yeah, hopefully, we can look back at this and laugh about the kind of content I'm creating. Ultimately, I like to indulge on my own, and I I'd like to speak my opinions. I feel like when I get baked, like a lot of other people out there, I feel like I have strong opinions, and I wonder if hearing them will be any use to anyone. You know, Mainly other young people who are in their 20s, maybe even their 30s, looking back at their 20s. Um, Honestly, oop, I already hit the mic already. Yeah, this is very hard for me, I should say, um, mainly because the space I'm in a car, not even in a room, and it's also the middle of the night, so it's also dark. Which is why we're using the hands to express myself. Hello, good day, F you, we love you. Yes, we are trying to do something a little different. I'll probably have subtitles to make it more interesting. But I think let's not waste any more time and just take our first rip of the video. First rip to a new channel, or rip to a new job, to new YouTube. Let's go. Cheers. I like how it didn't mute the one time I needed to mute. But there's your first hit. Hopefully y'all were able to indulge with me. And now that I am a little more elevated, give it a second. Please excuse my coughing. But yeah, ultimately, um, I decided that so I guess I'll explain deeper what's going on. So far, for the last 3 weeks, I've been making YouTube videos pretty consistently, about 2 shorts a day and one long form video every other day. Um, Really, I've just been trying to find my footing doing my content, and ultimately, how I feel is it's been fun. Like, I will admit, it's been fun, stressful, tiring, burnt out. I think is definitely settled in more often than not. But I think with that also being said, that's also why I'm making a video like this right now, to directly challenge that burnout, because it's so easy to just sit here and be like, I didn't, because, like, look, for context, I didn't want to make a video today. I didn't feel like it. I just wasn't in the mood. Let's pack another roll while I'm talking. Ultimately, I wasn't in the mood, but I ended up forcing myself to, just because ultimately I think it's just like, it has to be done. Like, if I'm trying to escape the typical 9 to 5, or as my buddy says, you need a 9 to 5 to feel your 9 to 5, or your 5 to 9. Sorry, and it's just like, let's see. Ooh, okay, let's not do that. Okay, I was gonna try to do some ASMR, but ultimately, I cannot risk fucking everything up just for a video that possibly might get 0 views. So ultimately, but yeah, like I was saying, you can tell a nigga got fried because he just started ranting instantly. But yes, I decided to just turn my downtime into content as well because personally, I want to say I'm struggling with weed addiction. I think it's a bit over dramatic to say weed addiction, but then again, it might not be, you know? So ultimately, I do think, for me, for someone like me, I take a lot of inspiration from like a lot of other YouTubers. So for me, I feel like when I use it, there's a right way and a wrong way to use it, for lack of a better word term. Because, using it as a tool is that's what you're supposed to do it for. So a good example, let's say you need to think of a new idea. You have some free time. You have a couple hours, maybe a day to yourself. You can spark up, man. Now granted, everyone's different, but like I think using sparking up to your advantage is huge. Let's take that rip and further elaborate, because I actually have no idea how long these videos should be. So to everyone else indulging, this is your time to take your blinker or whatever you're hitting. Cheers. I say that. Um, hold on. Excuse me. I say weed addiction because I think it's so easy to brush it aside because there are worse drugs out there. Alcoholism is 20 times worse in comparison if you're thinking about it, but that's exactly what makes it so dangerous, is because we don't think it's dangerous. Because as an advocate myself, I mean, obviously I'm here right now. It's like, I wish it would be more widely accepted. I mean, it is. It's been a lot better over the years, but ultimately, I think that it just needs to. For me, I've caught myself using it more as a crutch, and that's just not the way to go. It's just not the way to go. Like ultimately, I think about all my spark ups, and I want to say like half the time, right? I'm actually having a good time because I'm actually using it properly. Like right now, all things considered, is using it properly because it's not like I did nothing before this. I was going to do nothing, but I went ahead and did something. I made a video. And even just barring yourself a little bit is really the key. I think that's really the key there. Is just setting certain conditions and adhering to it. For someone like me, admittedly, I've been finding myself trying to set conditions, but they're too frequent, has been my mistake. It would be when a certain show comes on or a certain hour of the day, but that's too convenient and too consistent. You just find yourself waiting for that instead of actually doing what you need to do. So I think ultimately, I think it should be used as a checkpoint. Like, for example, I think the best one is, let me get a job first, then I could smoke. But instead of getting a job, let's go to a job interview first, then you can smoke. You know, let's apply for a job, at least one, then smoke. You know, something as simple as let's beat this level first, then smoke will make it so much better. Because you're gonna go because like what happens, at least for me, is I spark up beforehand and then realize I probably shouldn't. I should have waited. It would have been better if I waited. Also, I will admit I am blasted off them trips the bong. Like, Pete, I've been recording for this is the second take. Admittedly, this lighting is, um, you know, it's something new. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to recreate this. So ultimately, we're all here for it though. You know, one freaking getting potential thumbnail ideas. Um, Trying to think of what would be good for high. I think it would be this, ultimately. Something like this, or something like. Well, ultimately, yeah, nigga is just fried. And I guess this is a segment of the video where I'm just gonna enjoy myself to a degree because normally I don't let myself. I mean, this is different. Let's pack another roll. See, normally I don't really get high, or I don't get geeked, right? I don't be getting geeked. Mainly because I don't like being too geeked, personally. It's just not really, like, fun for me. So, ultimately. Hold on, chap. But nah, peep, I am definitely fried now. So I guess the real question is, I think I'm gonna end my. I think let's take one more rip, and I'm gonna end the video. I could try to extend it, honestly, but I will admit to myself, I'm fried. Like, it's kind of different when you're like you're admitting you're just fried. Let's take the rip chat. Mm-mm. Oh yeah. All right. That's more than enough for me. Ooh. A grand finale of hits. Okay. I can't take any more rips. That was a whole piece of bud that just keeps burning. And just like that, I fucked up. No, boxed the car. Wasn't the intention, wasn't the plan, but here we are, chat. Like and sub. Let's hope for this part two. The weed hand.